India is a country of over 1,000 million people. It accommodates 15.3% of the world's population on 2.3% of the Earth's land. Such a high population pressure has forced it to plow up 46% of its entire area reported for land utilization purpose. 50 years ago, the population of India was 361 million. The food production was 51 million tons and number of capita net availability of food grains was 395 grams per day. The process of plant development, initiated in 1951, covered various sectors of economy including agriculture. The investment in agriculture, though significant, was not commensurate with the needs of a sector that was the backbone of economy, expected to feed a huge population. Fertilizers, along with improved seeds, water, and human efforts, are the four pillars of the modern agriculture. These pillars interact intensely with the soil below and are indebted to the sun above, which makes all plants and animals' life possible on the planet Earth. The biggest advancement that India made since independence has been to raise production of food grains through adoption of modern means of agriculture. The tragic Bengal famine of 1943 led to planners recognize the need of systematic and planned program of food grains production in the country. The progress in agriculture through application of modern inputs including balanced fertilizers has been spectacular in India. Nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, the three major plant nutrients essential for growth and development of plants and crop productivity, have played a significant role in ushering in the Green Revolution. Potassium is a major plant nutrient because of the large amount in which it is absorbed by plants and its significant place for the production of high yield. The major function of potassium in the plants being activation of a number of enzymes involved in photosynthesis, metabolism of carbohydrates and proteins, assistance in the synthesis and translocation of carbohydrates, protein synthesis, membrane permeability, stomatal regulation and water utilization, improved utilization of sunlight during cool and cloudy periods, enhanced resistance of plants in many cases to withstand pests, diseases and stresses, improved crop quality characteristics in a number of crops in addition to yield increases which may be as important as yield increases. The absence or deficiency of potash demonstrates itself in symptoms like chlorosis along leaf margins, followed by scorching and browning of tips of older leaves which gradually progress inwards, slow and stunted growth, weak stalks and susceptibility to lodging, pests, diseases, frost, etc., low yields, shriveled grains and in general poor crop quality. Potash plays a key role in improving the quality of cereals, pulses, oilseeds, fabric crops, vegetables and fruits. Potash improves the size, quality, flavor, sweetness and shelf value. Use of high-yielding varieties of seed and newer methods of agriculture and technology have depleted soils of their potash content, and potash is not sufficiently replaced. Thus, now Indian soils are by and large low in potash. The introduction of potash in Indian agriculture is primarily due to the intense effort of Indian Potash Limited.
History of IPL is indeed the history of potash acceptance in our country. Its use was started in tea gardens, coffee gardens by Britishers before 1947. But the use was extremely limited, sporadic, and running into only a few hundred tons. Potash Otherwise is one of the three basic plant nutrients which are required by all plants. But unlike nitrogen and phosphate, potash works silently in improving the quality of output. Government of India realized the importance of use of potash, and in 1955 they decided that there should be only one agency to promote its use. This led to the creation of Indian Potash Supply Agency, which did excellent work in taking potash to all parts of the country and teaching the farmers its use. In 1970, it was decided that the base of Indian Potash Supply Agency should be widened to include all fertilizer companies in public sector, cooperative societies in the states, in all the major states, and even the private companies who had put up NPK plants. Thus, in 1971, Indian Potash Limited in its present form was born.
The registered office and head office of Indian Potash Limited is situated in Chennai. Managing Director's office at New Delhi is a key office for planning, implementation, coordination, liaison, and other aspects of functioning of the organization. The company has 15 regional offices throughout the country, responsible for providing marketing services through a widely spread network. IPL has a 480-member workforce of dedicated, motivated, trained, and competent personnel who keep abreast of the changing market scenarios as well as all the latest agricultural developments. They maintain a constant interface with various channels and farmer, who is our ultimate consumer. Our specialized team of devoted field officers provides consistent, individualized guidance to the farmers, thus playing a decisive role in influencing them on the balanced use of fertilizers and adoption of modern agricultural practices in tending crops.
In
last visit, I advised you to use balanced fertilizer, that is DAP, MOP and urea in the banana farming. Did you get any benefit?
After using the balanced fertilizer, the fertility of soil increased to a great extent. Moreover, the quality of banana improved a lot. This time the weight and color is also very fine.
Have you ever sent the soil samples for analysis?
Yes, I have already sent.
Okay. After testing the soil in our laboratory, we shall be sending you the result in your address.
They ensure doorstep availability of MOP, urea, DAP, rock phosphate, gypsum, ammonium sulfate, single superphosphates, etc. IPL recognizes the potential of its employees and believes in providing fulfilling careers. It ensures that exceptional performance is matched with limitless opportunities. Regional office at Ahmedabad is an important office to handle imports and distribution of potash and other fertilizers from Gujarat ports. IPL is one of the major suppliers of fertilizers in the state, as 90% of the state's total requirement of potash is met by IPL.
We are importing all kinds of fertilizer through our various ports of the Gujarat, namely Kandla, Bhavnagar, Pipa Bhav, Jamnagar, etc. And this is not only being supplied to Gujarat state, it is also being dispatched to all other states around Gujarat.
IPL has a specific mandate to increase the use of potash and thereby promote the balanced application of fertilizers. The company dedicates itself to maintaining all India network to ensure timely availability of potash in all parts of the country and at farmers' doorstep. Intensive educational, research and sales promotional activities and coordination with Central State Department of Agriculture and universities. Assessment of yearly demand based on consumption trends, cropping pattern, development potential, etc. Ensuring timely arrivals by coordinating with Departments of Agriculture, Department of Fertilizers and other line departments of Government of India for sales to farmers as well as to meet the demands of complex fertilizer manufacturers. Also works as a canalizing agency for import of urea on behalf of Government of India. IPL, through its vision combined with its imagination, planning and organization, could achieve substantial and gratifying results in promoting the use of potash in particular and balanced use of fertilizers in general for increasing crop production. This has been possible through a well-convinced strategy for dissemination and transfer improved technology through appropriate extension media programs such as Farmers Training and Education, Field Days, Farmers Conference, seminars, camp meetings, technical literature, on-farm demonstration, audiovisual programs, soil testing, research, coordination, etc. Consequently, the imports, sales, consumption and annual turnover of MOP, DAP and urea have had a phenomenal increase during the last 10 years.
From 70 to 192, when the Government of India decided to decontrol and decanalize potassic fertilizers, IPL had seen to it that use ratio of N, P and K came as close as possible to the ideal ratio of 4:2:1.
The application of potash is done after the soil has been well prepared and even when the shoots have sprung up. The requirement of potash is maximum during the fast growth stages, especially at the tillering and panicle initial stages. Potash, nitrogen and phosphorus are mixed in a prescribed proportion to make the balanced fertilizer for different crops as per recommendations. And now feeding the soil and plants with potash mix. NPK had been used in this demonstration plot. The results are evident. If India is fortunate enough in having vast areas of land available for agriculture, its farming community is also perceptive by its readiness to utilize the modern technology and fertilizers with obvious good results. The IPL audiovisual van is here with IPL officials and scientists. They are to call a Chaupal meeting. Villagers from the few villages in the neighborhood are invited to the meet. It is a free and informal talk session. The farmers put forth their problems, questions and queries, which the IPL officials endeavor to answer or clarify. The discussions cover different aspects of agriculture and farming. The farmers benefit greatly from the knowledge so gained. In India has no known source of potash, and entire requirement of the country is met through imports mainly from CIS countries, Jordan, Israel, Germany and Canada. Potassium is widely distributed abundantly in the Earth's crust. It occurs both as indigenous rocks as well as sedimentary deposits formed by the evaporation of seawater. Though capacity for nitrogenous and phosphates has rapidly expanded in India during last 2.5 decades, but the demand outpaces the availability, and import of urea and DAP is made to bridge the gap between demand and availability. IPL has over the years attained the status of leading importer of potassic and non-potassic fertilizers. Indian Potash Limited efficiently handles fertilizer shipment of more than 2 million tons per annum at all the major and minor ports in the country. The real strength of the company lies in its standing stevedoring, clearing and forwarding arrangements at all the ports, matching infrastructure of port godowns, mobile packing plants, etc., at the shores and inland storage facilities of more than 500 strategic locations. In fact, IPL's indefatigable spirit and competence truly came alive with the challenge it faced in the year 1977-78 when unionized labor at the major ports paralyzed fertilizers handling by holding the government to ransom. The government then requested IPL to handle fertilizer vessels at the intermediate and minor ports where there was absolutely no infrastructure like flotilla, transit sheds, rail links or even proper motorable roads. IPL accepted this Herculean challenge and not only successfully handled the operations but also saved millions of rupees in foreign exchange for the government of India. In fact, thereafter the aggregate handling costs became lower than even the major ports, a feat totally unthinkable when the minor ports were commissioned. The efficient management of the entire gamut of fertilizer shipping and distribution by IPL is truly a testimony of exemplary work ethics.
In IPL, the culture is like that no agents are not treated as contractor, but as a part and parcel of the company, as a family member. So we don't feel that we are agent or contractor of the IPL, but we feel that we are IPL. That this is the reason why our association with the IPL is like for since long, just that long.
Indian Potash Limited have their distribution and marketing network spread all over the country, besides using the network of state cooperative marketing federations as well as other institutions like Agro Industries Corporation in all the states. IPL have their own private channels with a 2-3-tier distribution scheme. The material is supplied by the company to their franchised dealers, who in turn supply material to a large number of fertilizer retailers.
Quick supply
of IPL makes it a unique company as compared to others. One phone message is sufficient for us to get the material from IPL. There are many companies, but the customers of IPL are most pleased because they get the material on time and the material is of first-grade quality. Neither any hook is used nor any scar is present. The material is never wet and is of very fine quality. We sell all kinds of fertilizer, but mostly we sell products of Indian Potash Limited because of its good range. It gives the product of quality. We get Muriate of Potash, DAP and urea. Recently a representative from IPL came and said that soon we shall be getting ammonium sulfate and sulfate of potash. Their supply is very timely.
With the help of effective logistics management, MOP is moved by road and rail from ports either directly to the retail points or to strategically located warehouses. Although there are a number of imponderables, But in a normal situation, the time span needed to take MOP from ship to the soil is 45 to 60 days. For over 4 decades now, the pioneering efforts of IPL have established the importance of potassium for crops. However, till about 2 decades back, very little basic research was being attempted, and scientists as well as administrators were largely relying on foreign sources. At the same time, the fact that potash was and still is an entirely imported and a very expensive commodity was an important consideration. Keeping in view all these aspects, IPL promoted Potash Research Institute of India in the year 1977. IPL has also implemented the Indo-Canadian Agricultural Extension Project, that is ICAEP, with the assistance of Canadian International Development Agency, CIDA, to improve agricultural production and to develop the rural areas through extension and research services. The company believes that environmental and development are interlinked, and certain type of economic development adversely affects not only the environment and primary productivity, but also increases poverty. IPL is addressing these issues through a project called Environment Improvement in Rainfed Areas, EIRA, with active collaboration of India-Canada Environment Facility, ICEF. The objective of the project is to conserve, develop and manage land, energy and water resources, to develop environment-related micro-enterprises for income generation, to strengthen and create community-based organizations for sustainable development through people's participation, and to build expertise in IPL, to conceptualize, plan and implement sound rural environment projects. By promoting Potash Research Institute of India and implementing ICAEP and EIRA projects, IPL has gone beyond business concerns for the welfare of Indian farmers. India is the second most populous country in the world and faces an enormous challenge to feed her growing population. The cultivable land resource is shrinking day by day. To meet the food, fiber, fuel, fodder needs of the growing population, the productivity of the agricultural land has to be necessarily increased. It requires increased use of agricultural inputs like quality seeds, fertilizers, agrochemicals, etc., and promotion of modern farming techniques like rain-fed farming and fertigation, in harmony with rural ethos and the environment. The government controls in the fertilizer field are gradually getting phased out, and market forces are slowly asserting themselves. In this cataclysmically changing agribusiness scenario, IPL firmly believes that a company who is able to retain the loyalty of their customers and farmers will be the winner.
और आपको बहुत अच्छा फायदा हो।
Indian Potash Limited, IPL, is looking at various alternatives to forge newer and closer ties with farmers by becoming a stakeholder in their activities and working towards their prosperity.
We have no doubt that we will be once again taking major market share in fertilizer business because of our focus on customers, because of our vast and what I call the largest reach for distribution, our strengths in the port operations, and above all, dedication and sincerity of our employees.
Indian Potash Limited, in the service of nation building through agro prosperity.